Hey,
Hello,
Siddharth.
Siddhant.
Hi everyone.
Hi,
Hello,
everyone.
sir.
Hi, sorry, I actually forgot about the session today. It was there on my corp email. Um, I am not using my corp on my personal phone, so I lost track of it.
Yeah, we should have guessed actually. Sorry, but we should have added your personal email.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah. So, Asta, could you please introduce our guest here?
Yeah.
I don't think he needs
So,
introduction, but
yeah, for people uh, after this hackathon, refreshing sessions are something that you need after this 36 hours of intense hacking and working out entire night. So we have Siddhant with us. Siddhant is the community manager, DSC community manager, and he's an awesome person, and he'll tell you more about DSC solution challenges and everything that is going on with DSC now, and a really refreshing session and a lot of knowledge coming from him to you guys. So enjoy.
yeah, actually, we have catch-up calls every day for people who doesn't know how DSC is. So we have catch-up calls every day, and he's one of the cheerful persons who tries to gives his best and takes up address all issues. It's always fun on Tuesdays. It's very glad to have you here, Sid. Yeah, over to you.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks so much, Hari, Shasta, the entire HackNITR team for having me over here. I'm super thrilled to speak to you folks. I'm always excited to speak to college students, undergrad students, the communities, and the awesome developers out there. We're building some amazing stuff on various technologies, open source technologies. So I haven't come prepared, honestly, and I don't have any set deck for you. But I'm open to answer any questions you have. I have the chat window open up with me, so feel free to just pour in your questions in the chat window, and I'm happy to take up your questions. One request, just avoid questions related to how to get into Google or about placements or internships at Google. I'm not someone from a hiring team or HR team, so I totally have no idea about how does it happen. But I'm happy to share in my insights, my general insights about how to prepare yourself for internships and placements, some interview tips, how to keep yourself updated. So those are things that I can definitely talk about. But yeah, just avoid questions on how to get into Google. But I can definitely talk about how to get into startups or into like, traditional companies, software based, or sorry, service based or product based. It's up to you. So uh, feel free to like direct your questions. Okay, there's the first question coming in from Abel. I think Abel is also our
Yeah, let's invite him over to the stage, I guess.
yeah.
If, Emil, if you like to be on the stage, please raise your hand so that we can invite you. Awesome.
Okay, Abel is here. Hey,
Yeah.
Abel, nice to meet you again. Abel is our ex-DSC lead, and we had our DSC upskill session last Tuesday with Abel and us. Good to see you back again, Abel. Uh,
Hi, Siddhant.
Hi,
Yeah. We have Emil over here. Awesome.
great,
Okay,
great.
this feels really great. DSC community manager, ex DSC lead, current DSC lead. This is the group photo I was hoping for. Finally, it happened.
Cool, cool,
Okay, I'm settling with a virtual one.
cool, cool. Do take a snapshot of it.
Yeah,
I
I already took it.
yes,
I'm already on it.
let me also take one. Okay.
Yeah, Emil, over to you with your question.
Yeah, so Siddhant, my question is very simple. Like Harish and I, very frankly, Harish and I had done a month-long session of workshops and preparations before the Hackathon Fest. We took 3 workshops weekly, 12 workshops across the entire month. And we ourselves, as organizers and also as attendees for other events, we find that it is really difficult to keep the energy and the vibe continued across in the online platform. So I have been the DS lead last year. So I have been organizing events physically, and I know that although it is time taking, but at the end of the day, the energy and the satisfaction you get to some extent is something which is not matched in an online version. So how do you keep yourself engaged, given that you are managing over 250 DSC leads and other responsibilities across the DSC India as well? So how do you keep yourself motivated and cheered?
So okay, there are two parts to this entire scenario that you have put across with me. So one is how do I keep myself motivated? One, and second thing is how do me as a community manager keep the community engaged, or you as a person, as a DSC lead or someone who is like a community organizer, how you can keep your community engaged. So I'll try and address both the aspects. So first and foremost, like talking about like how do I keep myself motivated? Definitely, it's the energy that you folks bring in that keeps me motivated and like keeps pushing me to do things for the community, for the like, betterment of the society, and help fellow developers. You folks put in so much of effort, so I always feel like why can't I be also be with you in that journey and help you out? That is my notion, that is my understanding, and that's why I always love being in these kind of events. Talk to you, talk to other developers, talk to community. That's what the only thing that's keeping me motivated, because I have seen my growth with the community. I've been a GSA before, legal swim America. So people who know me, who have heard about my story, they know this a zillion times that my all the success or all the growth that I have in career at the moment, I will give the credit to community itself. I have learned and grown in this community, developer community or startup community. There's so much I have taken from it. So I always love to give back as a pay it forward. So when you say like the pay it forward attitude, the pay it forward culture comes in, that's when it's a game change. You don't think of it like a liability. You don't think of it like, okay, why I'm doing it? I'm not getting paid for it over weekends. Why should I put in my efforts? You just do it out of sheer will, out of sheer passion that you want to do something to help other developers, because at some point in time you have got that help. Like you have been mentored by someone in the community. I was mentored by someone in the community. I have asked for help. I have asked for mentorship. So I always feel like if I get a chance, I will definitely give back. I will try my best. When I was a GSA, before then I was just a person who used to like attend events or volunteer at community events. And becoming a GSA. So for those of you who don't know what is GSA, GSA was Google Student Ambassador program, the program which is now called as DSP program, Developer Student Plus program. So the GSA program back in 2014, that's when I was one of the person from my university. I learned to grow my team. I encouraged my team to grow while I was growing, and this helped me. So instead of me growing, I encouraged my team to grow, which helped me in return to grow myself. Like it happened eventually. So I focused on. So I'll now talk about the second aspect, like how to keep the community engaged. The best part is to start with small batch. It's okay if you have big ambitions, but start small. Think of a smaller goal in mind. Let's say you talked about workshop. So understand, is it the right topic for the developers audience or the audience that you're like building that entire workshop series? Okay, if yes, like how do you define it? Like yes or no? Is it your own bias or your own hypothesis, or have you really talked to people? So crucial aspect is to like reach out to them and understand like whether they really want it or not. Okay, now once you have got an idea of talking with few folks, yes, definitely this would be a great idea, and then you start working on the series content. Now, try and understanding what would be helpful for them. What bracket or bucket you will put them in. Are these folks as beginners? Are these as intermediate? Or are these as advanced? Based on that, you develop the curriculum also, the content also. So let's say the majority of the folks in your community are beginner oriented, but you do advanced level session. That doesn't make sense because it might not be relatable for the audience, for the community audience. Be it online or be it offline, it doesn't matter. So content is the king. We always say that. So if your content is tailored for your audience, and if you are setting the right expectations with your audience, that's when everything will be smooth. So set the expectations straight away. Okay, it's a beginner level session. If you are an intermediate or advanced level session, feel free to join me to brush. But let's say if you're doing something of an intermediate level and mostly beginners join in, they will feel that, okay, I'm not able to relate. I don't know anything about it, and this person is totally like saying what I don't know. So it's going all above the head. It won't work out, and the motivation will start dropping. You won't see it eventually, but gradually the motivation will like drop in each of your event workshops or series or whatever that you plan going forward. So set the expectations. Think about the audience, which the audience is, what's the bucket your audience will fit in. Make content and series according to that particular audience bucket. Um, Start with a small batch. It's okay to have like just 10 folks or 20 folks in this entire batch or series, instead of thinking of having 100 folks and then later on the subsequent, let's say you think of beginner, intermediate, advanced. So beginner you have just like 100 folks, and intermediate you end up getting just like 20 folks. Your motivation will also drop. I'm not saying your motivation will not drop, it will get dropped. Definitely
Yeah.
you will feel disheartened, like we are putting so much efforts, we got 100 folks and now 80% have dropped, we are just seeing 20. So make it very exclusive, make it an invite only kind of a thing. And the moment you keep it exclusive, you just focus on just like 20 folks who are really interested. You can maybe do a like a preliminary test or sort or something, and you just focus on like training or skilling them. And you start with those 20. Those 20, you set an expectation from them. Once you get trained, your task is to train another 20. So each of those 20 will train another 20. So think of the chain that is being formed
The
over
chain
time,
effect.
right? So let's say even from those 20, only 10 were serious. At least those 10 will think of training another 20, right? This is 200 students that you're training. Same goes with them. So they set also the same expectation. Okay, from the next 20, they will train another 20, right? So it goes on like that. It's that kind of a chain that you form. So eventually, what will happen is your initial 20 or 10 folks that you have trained and worked with will become your champion. Those people will start talking about the importance or the value that these workshop series or the events that DSC conducts adds. Not just about DSC, I'm talking about like in general about any community or like anything that you folks do. Um, like in the career also later on, let's say if you're thinking of a community building career. Even then, um, as like once you think of them and you start building a series and you start working with them and they act like the champions to you, it starts propagating, the word starts propagating, and it adds to the value to the work that you are also doing. It goes in that way. So I think that's the only thing. How to keep the attendees motivated? Have a regular check with them. The initial part was to keep yourself motivated as an organizer and make sure the attendees also stick through. So have a regular check with them. Build an interpersonal relationship with them. Don't be just like transactional. Connect with them. Don't end it with just like, okay, we have done 3 months, 3 session series. That's it. We are done. Okay, finish. Our task is done. Build and connect with them. So it's not, I'm saying that pick up a phone and talk. If you can do it, that's the best thing. If not, you send them a mail, ask them to come for a sync if they can. Bring them together, everyone. Ask them if they can share their experiences in a blog or in a video format, if they're comfortable with it. And recording a session, give a spotlight to them. So that's when they will also feel motivated about what they are already doing. So those are some of the tips that I'll say would help keep you motivated, help keep the audience motivated, the attendees motivated as well. Um, Again, think of why you are doing it. So let's say you plan something for, I'm just picking a random technology, don't take it. Let's say you pick in Flutter. why you want to talk about Flutter and why the attendee should learn Flutter. If both the objectives are clear, like why you and why the attendee, then I think your purpose is solved. You know where you will be going towards. If it's just for the sake of doing it, my suggestion is don't do it. If you think of like, okay, once we get the 3 sessions training, we'll work on like a hackathon kind of a format, or maybe just encourage them to build projects and we will share a spotlight. I saw some of the DSCs also doing it. Like um, I can quote one example from Android Studies and also one of the DSC chapters picked in some 4 or 5 amazing apps built on Flutter, sorry, on Kotlin, and they then showcase it on the social media. So that's the thing that you need to keep doing, keep them motivated as well. Your attendees motivated as well. Yeah.
Actually, some really good points.
Thanks, Siddhant. Thanks.
Yeah, even I feel that after doing some workshops, we even feel. I mean, after seeing the participant count decrease a bit, even you feel disheartened as an organizer. So yeah, but as you said, like if you have a strong purpose of why and what you're going to do afterwards, I think definitely it will. Okay. Actually, we have the core team over here, Asta, Sriram, Ritesh, and Abhibav. I hope you got the tips and tricks from Siddhant to
Yeah.
take care of all the workshops.
I was about to ask the same question. Like, we organized so many workshops. We had a workshop series during the recent times, and there suddenly there was a decrease in the people turning up to the workshops. Like I was at a point, I was thinking like, if the same material we are providing is available for free on YouTube, why would people join for a workshop, a 1 hour workshop where it would be delivered in 10 minutes by some professional on YouTube? I had the same doubt, but yeah, you answered
Exactly.
it.
We tried with some basic workshops like web development, the generic ones. Then we realized, okay, there are actually stuffs like Sriram mentioned, YouTubers and video series who have done better. They can easily get the most out of it. So if we're doing it, let's either do something different or at least we should enjoy doing it. So that's why we are started doing some personalized project instead of how to. We are started doing something like this is how I built it. So maybe I could share my story. So that was
Right.
something I was focusing on. Awesome question.
Yeah, one of our most personalized workshop was like it was not open to all. Like it was more personalized, advanced Git and GitHub workshop. It was very, one of the most yeah, it was one of the most viewed workshop. Like we had a turn up of almost 90, and it was until and at the end of the session, there were almost 60 people still viewing it. It was very successful. It was more personalized as the content was not compiled and available everywhere else.
Yes.
That's when we understood the importance of it.
Got it. Got it. Sounds good.
Yeah. Siddhant, I had one other question.
Sure.
Yeah. So event-driven community and community-driven events. So let's say we have DSC, we organize HackNITR. So we are a community which does HackNITR. And there could be other scenario wherein we have a dedicated HackNITR community, which is the only thing that they do is hackathons, probably hackathons week after week or month after month. So which of the two do you think is a sustainable thing? Because let's say DSC is organizing a hackathon. Hackathon is not the only thing that DSC is supposed to do. So which of the two models do you actually think works the best? Event-driven communities or community-driven events?
Actually, one more point to add, actually, because the event-driven community might seem easy way to go, but also one more point to consider is if you have all the communities together, like all together working on all events, so you basically have a better workforce, a larger workforce. So
Okay, so
take that also.
I will clear that myth. It's so ultimately both are communities. There is no difference between an event-driven community or a community-driven event. It's ultimately the same thing. So think of like each of the community has a larger objective in mind. If I talk about DSPs, it was something that we have dictated. One, when I said you that DSPs are not just only supposed to do hackathons. We have never said that. Maybe a DSC as a community, because it's an individual community now. We have helped in starting a DSC chapter. We have helped in providing resources and support, whatever best we can do. But have I ever restricted DSC lead in terms of, okay, you can't do hackathons alone and you just have to focus on this? No, right? It's up to the DSC lead, correct? And it depends on the DSC lead. Let's say a DSC lead wants to just focus on, let's say,
Solution excellence.
hackathon for good.
Okay.
That's the theme. Like they just want to build projects for good, for goodness. Why not? There's no stopping to it. DSCs can also do it. If you go to developers.google.com/programs/DSC, you will find that we have never said that okay, DSCs will do event. We've always said that DSCs help in peer-to-peer, build a peer-to-peer learning environment on campus. It could be anything. Hackathon also is a platform to build that peer-to-peer learning environment. They help in building solutions. They build solutions for local community in the local region. So it could be via hackathon, it could be via the initiative as well. So let's say if I just quote the Android Study Chance thing again, you do 3 sessions. Place your theory into practice. That's the only thing. Again, for HackNITR, if the community is very focused on hackathons, it's fine. It's completely okay. And I'll not term it as events at all. It's more of initiatives that you are taking up. It's something that you are building. So it's a maker space ultimately. So don't I will not think of it as a event doing community or community doing events at all. I'll think of a community taking an initiative. It could be in any format. It could be a workshop series. It could be an events where we have speakers. It could be hackathons. It could be panel discussions. Even it could be fireside chats. Even there are various mechanisms or ways to like build a community and grow a community together. So I think it is a misconception that the community do just the events, but if the objective of the community is clear, that's when the community organizer has the like power to change that entire concept of people just thinking of community doing events. DSC is doing just events. DSC is a bigger scope. Like think of the larger impact that you folks are creating in the lives of so many individuals out there. I'm sure you have seen a lot of stories of DSC leads doing amazing work already. They have previously done, they're still doing it. I was so inspired by DSC OMG, I was so inspired by DSC Live. It was a format, it was a new initiative, right? It was not something like an event that you're doing, it's an initiative that you folks have taken. You wanted to bring the entire of the best of IT industry at a single place for 5 days, back-to-back sprint sessions. You wanted to help developers get trained on various technologies. So it's not at all an event of sort, I'll say. So that's something that I would want to make this clear, that don't have that kind of a misconception that it's not a community doing events or events done by community kind of a thing.
The final goal is impacting the community at a larger scale. So no matter, you could do any kind of events, but the impact, the final goal is that it's not just focusing on one event. Okay, that is a very valid point. But we seem to realize that some folks over there, everybody has their own. The community has its own struggle and its own goal, and even the people who join, they think to gain something out of it. For example, initially I wasn't much into communities. I was just joined DSC because Abel pulled us in, and we love to code, and that was all. Building solutions, that's it. But for somebody like me, I might not be that much interested in helping, taking a workshop or organizing a hackathon. I mean, I would love to be a part of it because my community is organizing, but I would not like myself, to involve myself completely. So that is why this thought of having event-driven communities occurred to us. But what do you think about it? Like, what should the people think about it? If somebody has such kind of thought, maybe it's not related. It's not something.
No, I think you folks have a greater responsibility beyond just creating an impact, is to educate the ecosystem as well. about the importance of communities and how communities are really helpful. And I think the work that you do speaks volumes. So you just need to focus on how you are communicating that to your audience. That should be good enough. I think for you to just make sure that the ecosystem knows the importance of community, why is it community, and it's beyond just doing events. It's beyond an event organizing task that you folks are assigned with. You need to think of other strategies, other ways to ensure that the message goes out loud and clear. Uh, for example, I am volunteering with Head Start. It's a startup organization. We help early stage entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs, early stage startups and aspiring entrepreneurs. Now, how do we ensure that there are so many other communities and other accelerators and incubators out there in the ecosystem, startup ecosystem? How do we ensure that people know that we just don't do events? We do initiatives also. So we work with startups. We would try to have like a video feedback from these startup founders that okay, if you can share your journey, you can come on board, talk about your platform, talk about your product, share your journey also with us. We shine a spotlight on them. That's when they also feel motivated. They get traction. They get audience. Also, they reach out to more people. At the same time, the ecosystem knows that it's beyond just doing events. It's about really creating an impact. It's about helping the ecosystem grow, mature, and at a point of time, it kind of becomes sustainable. So you don't have to put in efforts; it just like runs as a smooth flow, kind of a thing.
Yeah. So while we are doing events, especially at DSC level, let's say, so should our focus be primarily on the university audience, or let's say anyone who actually wants to come? Like, should we focus more on our actual local audience or an audience who
So
wants to?
while you were in your campuses and you were doing offline events, definitely I would have advised to go for like with your local audience, doing something for your own campus first, then extend it to the boundaries to your like other nearby students and other campuses. Um, Again, it's very subjective. It depends on your administration also how much they are open and comfortable in allowing other students to come to your event from other campuses. A lot of other things, even on your campus, from non-CS branch and non-IB branches and non-domain branches, how much comfortable they are. So it totally depends on the administration also, and I won't comment on it. It varies. So I will leave it to the DSC lead and the management itself to like come up with a mutual consensus if they want to like make it successful. But yeah, definitely I would have encouraged to do something on campus first, then reach out to the other campuses in your region, and then once you have established your good community in the region itself, then think of a larger impact and then grow. So think of it like you are reading, like you want to reach on the top of the pyramid. You start from the base. You start getting that base and the foundation ready, and then you start moving up the ladder. Then you reach the top of the ladder, which is like you spread your wings and then you reach out to the entire country and you reach out to leads from various parts of the country. That's when you think of a larger impact. So, so that would be a third step. Now, for an online one, I think the physical boundaries are no more a constraint, and you can reach out to anyone, and anyone can join in, irrespective you want to or you don't want to. But anyone can start attending an event. So I think your community has already been built on the grounds of your own campus students. So my hunch is primarily it would be your campus students, but definitely that's not a like a straightforward answer to it. Uh, if you, as I said, if the content is really good, your speaker quality is really amazing, then you might see people coming in from other campuses, people might coming in from non-CS, non-IB backgrounds. You'll see folks coming in from maybe even from class 12 or class 11 who are like beginners, and they are like, I'll say school students are quite enthusiastic and advanced these days. You might see PhD students, you might see postgrad students also. But primarily, I'll say keep your target audience as undergrad students for your own campus and keep it open. It's a community after all. Anyone can come and learn and join and grow. So don't restrict yourself. That's what I will advise. And but I'm not saying that do something very specifically for them, because that's not your target audience. So there are other initiatives, other programs that will help in reaching out to that kind of an audience. GDG is there, GDG Cloud is there, Women Techmakers program is there, GD program is there. So try to help more of students on their campus or in your region or across the country. Being like an online world. So yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you.
So
Thank you, sir.
thank you. So then for the next question, I'd like to invite Pritesh to say, because
Sure.
he's the one who asked the question. So let me unpin myself. Okay.
Yes, he's on stage.
Pritesh is here.
Hello. Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Hey, Siddhant. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Hello. It's nice to meet you finally. So
Same
yeah,
here, sir.
my question was.
Pritesh here is an
My question
upcoming
was.
GitHub campus expert.
Sorry, didn't
Thank
get
you.
that thing.
Yeah. So my
He's the
question was
upcoming.
ki.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh well, sorry.
Yes. Sorry about that. So my question was, does large number of communities, like being a part of large number of communities, would make more sense? Yeah, like becoming a part of few communities with members who are like actually enthusiastic about, let's say, tech. So it will be more beneficial, like for the future aspects.
So as I always say, it totally depends. I saw your example also. I got what you mean to say. There are plenty of communities on campuses. Like I have faced this kind of a situation as well. There many communities who focus on tech aspects, helping students on campus on tech. There are CSI, there is ACM, there is IEEE, there are like nowadays you have CodeChef, ESC, Opencode, GSA, there are like
Yes.
bunch of communities. Each of those communities have varying audience size, member size. Now, what does it make sense for, let's say a first year student? Which one that first year student should go for? Should that person should go for a community with a large number of audience, or should just be open and join every other community out there in the campus, right? So I got your point. I know
Yes.
that that's something that would definitely come to mind for any first year sophomore. So no, honestly, it doesn't make sense for someone to join multiple communities. But I'm not saying that to restrict ourselves to just one community. It's okay. One can join one community, might get something that's useful for one from that community. Another community might be helping in some other sense. As I say, every community has their own objective, has their own set charter, and if it is helping you or the audience basically, then the individual should not restrict. At the same time, the organizers or the chapter lead have, or the community leads have a power in them that they can think of doing collaborative events. So instead of people getting like confused, they can think of doing collaborative events. So for example, I'll just quote very uh, uh, like a personal example. When I was a GSA, even I faced this kind of a challenge. Like there were so many communities, and GSA was like just started off, and a totally new community. CSI was there from a long time. ACM was there from a long time. I So instead of having like a competition with them, I thought of like, how about we do a collaboration with them? So I collaborated with various communities and chapters on campus. So I worked with SP. I had partnered with CSI. I partnered with ACM, student chapter on the campus. Collaboratively, we did bunch of activities together. So it was ultimately like a win-win situation. So I'm not saying it's okay. GSA is getting benefited after all with the entire collaboration. It's a win-win situation for the students. So ultimately, what you're doing is you're not in a competition zone. You're not getting like any award later on. Okay, this community
Exactly.
wins versus this community wins, right? Um, it's something
Yes.
that you are helping to help the students on campus, correct? So if with that mutual collaboration you are able to help more students, then I think that's good enough for everyone.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right? But
Right.
I
Thank
understand
you.
like for a first year student, definitely this confusion will be there, and it will continue. Honestly, it will continue until like the end of second year or the end of first year, I'll say. By the end of second year, I think the student gets matured enough and knows where the person should needs to go, continue his or her journey
Exactly. Yes.
in one or the other chapter. But I think that's something which will bound to happen. We are confused souls when we join college. We hardly know what to do. Why in our 4 years we change a lot of our career decisions. After graduation, we change our career decision. We land up job somewhere in some ladder, then move completely to a different ladder, different domain altogether. We move to higher studies, which is not at all related to our domain. We go for civil services or higher education outside of India. So there are like a lot of career decision changes that happen throughout those 4 years and after those 4 years as well. Once you are out of your school and then into the college, you have a total transformation. So at that time, uh, one is a confused soul. The person will not have a clarity. So I have seen, even I used to question this: why these people can't make a decision of joining this community versus that community. Even I used to say that why which one should I go for, this one versus that one, and this will continue throughout the journey. After second year, in fact, I rather first year itself I got some clarity. Okay, this is what I need to continue, this is what I don't want to continue. I'm getting my comfort zone here, so I might continue over here. This is helping, or I might join various communities also, and I'm getting benefit out of it.
Thanks,
Yes.
Siddhant. Thanks,
Yes.
Siddhant. That actually
Exactly.
makes.
Thank you. Thank you, Siddharth.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Thank you, Pritesh, for asking such a beautiful question.
Adding on to it, this hackathon in
Thank
itself
you, Hari.
is of one, two, three, four, five communities that we have in the university. So, as
Exactly.
always, collaboration is the key to success.
Correct. So there's
I
no
really,
competition after all. There's no like a race that is going on that this community will succeed versus this community will succeed. Sorry. So it's just the objective is totally different. The way the approach is totally different. One community might focus on something. The other community might focus on something else. You as a DSC lead can, or as a DSC core team, can think of, okay, what is it that you really want to do? We like when I was a GSA, we focused on helping. It was like it's like a very small project, so we focus on helping local businesses in Dehradun. Um, Dehradun, for those of you who don't know, that's a place in Uttarakhand, like up in hills. So how we can help the local businesses in Dehradun. So it started with a small thing. We just went to a market like um, nearby market, and we explored, okay, which all businesses are doing good and they might need an online presence. We reached out to them and asked if they have like a Google Maps presence, like a Google My Business presence. If they said yes, we just helped them build up their website if they want, like a simple static one on Google Sites. If they didn't have anything, any kind of an online presence, we just helped them build their online presence, we created their Facebook pages or other things, kind of Google Maps account, Google Business, like we listed them on Google Maps and stuff. So very basic thing. So our intent was as a GSK was to help local businesses, empower them, build an online brand presence. That's it. Nothing else. Apart this, and again, this is apart from the usual initiative that we used to take on Android, on cloud, on we focus on digital marketing as well. So bunch of those things. So we were like, okay, we will work with government also. So we worked with government of Uttarakhand also. It didn't land up, but we were kind of like in the midst of all the conversation to digitize the archaeological monuments of Uttarakhand. So those are the things that we were thinking about, like beyond just the usual scope of initiatives that we used to take at campus.
Yeah, I mean, I can totally see that all you're focusing on is we do stuff that we would love to do, and if you need help, we'll do it out of goodwill. That's the
Correct.
thing.
Correct.
That's really awesome. Okay, I think it's been a while. Thank you so much for joining, Siddharth. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
I'm super glad that Abel had your number, or else I probably wouldn't have been able to reach you. I'm super glad he did.
Thank you so much, and really sorry I actually missed this, and glad I could join super quick as soon as possible. Uh,
Yeah, actually, thank you for joining on such short notice.
Thank
Um,
you, thanks so much, folks. Have a great event, and all the best to you all for the next few sessions.
yeah, sure. Thank you so much.
All right, great.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye bye.
Take care.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Siddharth. Thank you. Bye.
So let's not end the session probably. I think Pritish was showcasing project. I'll screen. Let
Yes,
him.
yes.
Yeah.
Pritish, I suppose you are having some sort of network issues. I can see.
Okay. Okay. Give
Alright,
me. Okay.
I will share.
Pritish,
Yes.
you carry on.
Can you remove me from stage?
Ritesh.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sharing. I'm sharing. Just give me a sec. I suppose you can see the screen now. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, it's visible.
It's
Yep,
visible.
we can.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
So we have had this idea for which we could help people showcase their participation in our events and stuff, and not just hack an idea. But here we are. It's a very typical idea, but with some quite a few its own things. So we have a profile frame generator sort of thing, an ID for us. If you see, we all team members have our own IDs, and it's not just limited to us. You yourselves can have your identities and tell that you were a part of HackNITR 2.0. So a normal stuff, and it's the typical thing that you can go ahead, choose images and stuff. Okay, I just have two images, so I'll just stick to them. But yeah, you have complete zoom and all other features. Go ahead, put on your name and things. You can go ahead and put in your team name and something. But yeah, that is there. You can do that, and once you're done, you also have the option to like reposition it and stuff. So go ahead, feel free to play with it. And grayscale, if you're a fan of black and white, go ahead, and it's all set. You can download the image. It's up there, and share it on your social media, people, so that we also get to know that you have been part of Hack and Idea, right? So this is the it's not just limited to this. It's not just limited to this. We also have our own custom upload thing. So if you have some cool frames that you want to upload and make people use it, go ahead. You can use your upload your custom things. Just a few things. There'll be a few details that you need to fill, which are pretty straightforward. But yeah, that's it. Go ahead and feel free. Do tag us. Don't forget to tag us. We will be happy to share them. Happy hacking, people.
Yeah, we'll put this link in the
Yes, there's the
Discord
link.
channel as well. As it's in
Yes.
the chat, you can try now, and we'll put the link in the Discord as well as soon as possible.
Oh, okay, okay. That had
Yes,
been a
people
really
and do
good
share it
session.
in social medias, Instagram,
Yeah,
WhatsApp.
Abiba, if possible, can you also tag in all our social handles so that it'll be easier for people to tag us? That was a session, right? That was quite a good session, I would say.
This was built just like a hackathon project itself in this short time only, and this was sort of a memoir from our side to you.
Yes, yes,
Like,
yes, yes.
Absolutely.
We'll be uploading quite a few frames probably in the next upcoming weeks or something. So do check them out if you want to try. Go ahead. It's just a fun project. There's nothing behind it. So
yeah.
cool.
So we'll end this session and meet you at 8 for the submission demo. And if we have something else for you, we'll do that as well. I
We
think we
have
have.
something really
Yeah.
cool planned up for you.
Yeah. So we'll do that as well. And we have at 10:30 one past session who is a great person, and at that time we'll be announcing the leaderboard winner and the AutoCAD challenge winner. And also you can go for speed networking now since everyone is here.
Yes, yes, yes. Feel free to speed network. It's really great to know other people's. So let's see you in the. I am pretty sure all of
Yeah,
us will
let's
be
just
there. So
join
if
in
you want
speed
to
network
chat with
only.
us individually, go ahead, hop in. Let's speed network.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
people.
let's
Bye.
end this session. Ta-da, people.
Bye.